What's happening? Brian Tong here, and welcome to the Apple Bits for everything good and bad inside the world of Apple. Now, at the moment, there's still no new Apple product announcements or event or anything like that, and I know some of you are still reeling from the cancellation of the regular HomePod, and then others are just wondering, when are we finally going to get a new Apple TV? But maybe you can get both, because according to a new report from Bloomberg's Mark Gurman, Apple is working on a product that would combine an Apple TV set-top box with a HomePod speaker. The current working name is the Apple TV Plus HomePod. Get it? Okay, that's not true, but it would also include a camera for video conferencing through a connected TV and have smart home functionality. The report adds that it will include the Apple TV features you're used to for streaming video, running apps, and playing games. If it launches, it would be Apple's strongest push for a product that they hope brings them some kind of smart home relevance. And I don't know how tall or flat, big, wide, or small they expect it to be, but I'm thinking about the placement for this. If you're using a camera on it for video conferencing to then be displayed on a bigger screen, the ideal position for something like this would be maybe dead center at the bottom or at the top of your TV set right above it. That's really the least likely place anyone wants to put it, if you even have space for it. And some of you loyal Apple users might like the idea of this, but I think maybe part of it is because you're just waiting for Apple to just do something, really anything different with the Apple TV. Now, Apple has still made little to no significant progress with their own smart home platform, and it's still one of the fastest growing areas in the tech space. But let's be honest, even they can admit Apple dropped the ball on the smart home. But that's not all. Gurman adds that Apple is also debating on launching a higher-end speaker with a touchscreen in hopes it can also better compete with Google and Amazon, who are taking Apple's lunch in this space with their Nest Hub and Echo Show products. Now, this device would be a little different by combining an iPad with a HomePod speaker and include a camera for video chatting. This would easily be the ultimate Frankenstein product from Apple. Rumors claim they are considering calling it the iHome PadPod Plus with FaceTime camera. That's also not true, but this is. Apple has even considered connecting the iPad to the HomePod speaker with a robotic arm that can move to follow a user around the room, according to the report. Wait, hold on. Okay, I just got word. Okay, we have exclusive access of what it might look like. That's not it. That's an iMac. Okay, there you go. Much better? And I know it'll probably ending up looking better than that, but at the same time, it doesn't feel like it's too far off from that. Ugh. Now, if this sounds like their version of Amazon's latest Echo Show 10 with its swivel screen that can track users, you are not wrong. It's not exactly the same, but it's pretty close to being the same, just with Apple's design and ecosystem with it. So maybe it's like a copy of the same. But Gurman reports that both of these new products are still in the early stages of development, and product features could drastically change, or they may not even release the product at all. And I'm sure Apple still feels like they can make a difference in the smart home space, but if these new smart home speakers are in, let's say, early development, like they say, we're talking about being maybe at least 2 years out at the earliest from seeing them officially released. And of course, it's always hard to count out Apple, but this is time that they can't afford, especially when you look at these numbers. So check out the latest smart speaker market share data from VoiceBot Research, and I've posted this before in my videos, but it shows that in 2020, last year, Amazon had the largest US smart speaker install base at 53%, dropping from 61% in 2019. Google took a large part of that, coming in second at 31% market share in 2020 compared to 24% in 2019. Apple stayed almost exactly the same at 2.8% market share in 2020 compared to 2.7% in 2019. So it went up only 0.1% with no significant gains during that time. And then you have Sonos, who more than doubled their market share to 4.7% in 2020 compared to a 2.2% in 2019, while passing up Apple. So Apple is sitting at fourth place based on that data through 2020. And we could be waiting at least another 2 years before Apple brings even one of these rumored smart home products to the table. So that's 2 more years for consumers to commit to a smart home ecosystem that doesn't involve Apple. And the chances that they turn things around, even with these new efforts, doesn't look too good. But, I just want us to revisit that point about how Apple completely dropped the ball with the smart home. Before this, I did my video about the death of the HomePod. I did this deep dive on the challenges that Apple faced with the HomePod and how they could save it and maybe turn things around. But most of these issues haven't been resolved years later and still plague Apple smart home products today and into the future. Okay, first one, the biggest one, Siri is still significantly behind the other voice assistants. You know that it had a head start. It was really the first voice assistant when it launched with the iPhone 4S, but then Apple took their time, and that didn't matter because Amazon and Google aggressively developed better, smarter, and faster assistants of their own. We still haven't seen a truly revamped Siri. Apple even hired Google's top AI guy, John Giannandrea, to head their machine learning and AI strategy. Well, now it's been 3 years since his arrival, and if we don't see any major changes at WWDC this year, I don't expect Siri to get significantly better. Then you got Apple's HomeKit. It's still also compatible with less than 1,000 smart home devices. You might think, oh, that's pretty good. Well, look, the last time I checked, it was around the high 600s, but it didn't even crack 700. Google is now compatible with over 50,000 devices, and Amazon is compatible with over 60,000 devices. There is no contest here. And I don't use HomeKit as my smart home platform because it's not compatible with all the devices that I use. Also, Apple's pricing has been higher overall with a starting launch price of $349 for the original HomePod. You got them bringing in a $99 HomePod mini to the market. That was the right move, but 3 or 4 years too late. And with these new rumored smart home mishmash devices, if they even happen, they would still be coming 2 or 3 years after Amazon's latest swiveling Echo Show 10. And I'm not so sure that's going to be a winner, no matter who makes a device like that. But this also doesn't mean that Apple can't make some inroads and take back some of that market share eventually. But this is not a normal situation where they can just use their marketing muscle and throw a bunch of catchy ads everywhere to reclaim and dominate this space. This is a different beast. Now, there's a few things that can help them out. We have their strong stance on privacy, especially for an always-on home video conferencing smart device. That's going to be a big differentiator. It's also the reason that I've never strongly invested in one from another company. So I would at least consider maybe Apple's in the future, even if having my phone handy all the time is just more convenient to take a video call anywhere. And then another one, FaceTime, right? FaceTime, still the video conferencing platform that I use, that most of us in the ecosystem use with most of our family and friends. So combining that with Apple's privacy stance makes me feel more comfortable getting behind a product like this compared to Facebook's Portal, Google's Nest Hub, or an Echo Show. Now, the ecosystem is a powerful tool as well, and that will keep Apple relevant for years with this user base that's really locked in and, for the most part, pretty happy with it. So maybe Apple can like slide into third place, but then I look at Sonos, who continues to bring like superior smart speaker devices to the market, and then they have a powerful ecosystem of their own that people are locked into. So that's going to be a challenge already, and it's hard to really see Apple having a real chance at even catching Amazon or Google in the smart home space right now. They got to first even look at Sonos. But I want to know from you all, what do you all think about these new Apple smart home devices? Did you get a little more juice for their smart home plans now, or is it too late for them because you're just already committed to Amazon or Google's platform, and whatever they do just won't make a difference? Let me know what you think in the comments. I'll read the ones that I feel like reading, and then I'll post some of your responses in the next video. Now, we're also still expecting an Apple TV coming this year. We've heard it's still going to have a more standard form factor similar to the current design. It's rumored to be getting a faster processor, a redesigned remote that possibly has the ability to use the U1 chip and Find My feature. Plus, reports recently claimed that the new 2021 Apple TV could bring support for a 120Hz refresh rate. So we're expecting to see it by the end of this year, and chances that it shows up at a rumored April announcement or event just becomes less and less likely. All right, that's going to do it for this video. If you like what you see, give me that thumbs up, subs up, and hit that notification bell, ding, to get all my videos when they drop. And if you want to go even deeper, you can check out my Apple Bits XL audio podcast to get the latest in-depth coverage with all these stories. We've got new ones every week with special guests. Plus, you can support all my content and work at patreon.com/Brian Tong. You're going to get early access to my content, bonuses at different reward levels, and a completely ad-free version of my audio podcasts. So thanks so much for watching, everybody. We'll talk to you next time. Take care and be safe. See ya.